Welcome back everybody to another direct comparison. In today's video we'll be conducting a graphical comparison between the original Knack running on the PlayStation 4 Pro and the sequel Knack 2 also running on the PlayStation 4 Pro. We'll analyze each basic graphical concept so we can get a better picture of how these two games stack up and determine what graphical improvements have been made. So let's start off by talking about the resolution. Knack 1 has a special PS4 Pro update that allows it to run at a high frame rate mode at a native 1080p. You can also set the resolution of Knack 1 to a checkerboarded 1800p, which is relatively close to being 4K. Knack 2 also takes advantage of the PS4 Pro's improved hardware and offers a 1800p checkerboard resolution just like the first game. In fact, even on base hardware, you can enjoy the 1800p option and still get relatively stable locked 30 FPS. When compared to the original Knack, Knack 2 is far more stable with both options. Knack 1 with an unlocked frame rate could run anywhere from 40 to 50 FPS on average, making for some unstable gameplay. Knack 2 takes advantage of a great temporal anti-aliasing solution, making it so the 1080p high frame rate option still looks phenomenal with limited aliasing. Knack 1 featured a unique art style with a bright cartoon-styled color palette, but high-resolution textures. Knack 2 continues this trend, and we can see some slight improvements to the environmental texture. But we also see an increase in quality on facial textures, which gives the characters a much more modern look that's more in line with animated motion pictures. Let's talk about the lighting. Lighting has been improved drastically in Knack 2. With the increase in environmental variety, we see some really cool light effects. The mines are a good example of this, where we can see some volumetric lighting in and around the cave walls with colorful crystals. The lighting isn't as profound as it could be, and we see some dull lighting effects like around this campfire scene, but it's definitely a step up from the original. It's also important to note the consistency in lighting between gameplay and cutscenes, something that Knack 1 struggled with for whatever reason, is now fixed in Knack 2, and we see a much more consistent picture. Shadow quality has always been pretty good in Knack, and there's some great examples of this under the lattice in one of the early levels of the first game. We can see some soft shadows cast onto Knack, and they look great, especially with all of Knack's particle effects properly being cast. Reflective surfaces are pretty basic in both Knack games, with only lighting being reflected off of special surfaces, like ice particles on Knack, but the bloom effect coupled with the lighting gives Knack 2 a much more polished, cinematic look. Fire effects have definitely seen an increase in quality, especially explosion effects. When destroying robots and fighting goblins in the first game, we get a few glimpses of special explosive effects, but they're very basic and simple. Knack 2 has some increased particle effects with each explosion, which gives a much more full effect and looks much better. Particle effects are probably Knack's strongest aspect. The entire game has you controlling particle effects, and Knack 2's new feature that allows you to shrink in size whenever you want really plays to this effect's strength. You can shrink down and walk through all your loose pieces, and they realistically move around the game world. This was present in Knack 1, but only when you died and you couldn't interact with the pieces yourself. So overall, Knack 2 boasts a few graphical improvements that take advantage of the title's art style and direction. We see an increase in particles on screen along with more ways to interact with them. We also see an increase in texture quality, especially on characters and objects. Lighting has seen some marginal improvements, and special effects like explosions take advantage of the increased particle quality. Knack 2 is a definite increase in overall graphical quality, and if you want to learn more about this game, make sure you check out the review I did for it yesterday. I hope this comparison was interesting, and if you'd like to see more of these, let me know by liking the video, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe for more videos posted every day.